So I am adding 4 new switches to the number of switches I have on the network. But what I'm going to be doing differently this time is the configuration is going to be automated with Ansible automation. So I have a playbook that I've written here. So this playbook is going to configure all the switches individually, and here using this variable name is going to call all the switches in my target switches, which are 4 switches on the network. I'm going to show you all the host names in a second, and after it passes this host names, it's going to come down here and run this command to verify the configuration, as well as it's going to save the config when it's done. And this command, this debug module, is going to be used to output the configuration. And if you look here to my inventory file I created, because I have other switches on the network, so I don't want to mix all of them together. So I have a new file called new switches, and these are the IP addresses and the host name for the new switches on the network. So all I did was give it a group name of new switches and the group variable of switches vars. So, and here I've already created these switches, but there's no configuration on them. I only enabled SSH access. So if I use this command here, this is the check, because I've checked it before just to make sure it doesn't fail. I corrected every potential error that might arise while putting this together. I'm trying to make sure my videos are no longer more than 5 minutes. So we've demonstrated enough that we can write Ansible playbook or create YAML files. So now I'm going to pre-create these files and then explain it. That way, if you need the file, and then when I'm posting the video, I'm going to put the file in there if you need to download and reuse for any specific reason, or you can just put in the comment and request for the file and I will send it over to you. That way we're reducing the time of our videos from 10, 15, 20 minutes to about 5 minutes. So you see we're currently at 2 minutes, and the point is I have 4 new switches on the network. If you look here, this is my config files that's going to go on all the switches. I have modified all of them with their appropriate host name and IP addresses. So you can see I've modified their IP address and the host names. This is the other one, the same thing, IP address and host name modified, and the configuration is the same. So in my inventory file, I created a new switches inventory like I explained just now. And lastly, I'm going to be using the new config playbook here, and I've explained this before. This is the name of my playbook. This is the it's going to be using the Arista US collection and config module, and then I'm sourcing the file directly. If I have a single switch, this would have been the name of the switch, but because I have 4 switches, I want to loop through all the 4 switches, so I'm using a variable inventory underscore host name to call all the switches from there. And then the notify statement is going to be used to set the handlers to save the configuration. So I'm going to go ahead and run this, run the command. So the command is Ansible Playbook. Inventory is pointing to new switches, and the playbooks is the new config, and I will be using this to authenticate. So I'm going to hit enter. If we have any error, I'm going to go through it and try to fix it. But so far, it looks to be logging into individual switches. If it's making a change, it's going to give us output. You see, like now it says it changed 9, changed 10, 11, and 12. And it's telling us that task is idempotent, which means that if the switch doesn't require any change, it's not going to make any change. And you can see we now have all the switches 9, 10, 11, 12, and IP address 18, 19, 20, and 21. So if I come here, I already have all the switches running in my VMware ESXi. At the same time, I have all the switches here in my secure CRT here. So if I log into 19, for example, quick connect, If I log into 19, the credential is already cached. So because it's my first time logging in here, so you can see the switch is pre-configured. I don't have to do anything at all. So imagine I have 200 switches. This would have been very straightforward and easy. So here I can do my show IP interface brief, and I have everything configured. I can do show VLAN brief. Everything is pre-configured exactly as I want it to be. Show interface status. Everything looks exactly as I want it to be. So like I promised, I want this video to be just 5 minutes. If you need this playbook, you can go into my description or you can leave a message. I will send it to you. It's very straightforward, but I believe my explanation is good enough. So thank you for watching. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. If you have any question, like I said multiple times, you can ask in there. If you have any contribution, you think something I'm missing out, again, put it in the comment. Thank you. Bye-bye.